Throughout winter, we do not release any of our patients just because survival rate is a lot higher in summer, so we decided to keep them for future companion animals. Welcome back to another episode of Shamwari TV. We are at the Wildlife Rehab Center doing a quick update on all of our fat, healthy animals in the pre-release camp. Nothing much has changed since the last episode, other than everyone is growing, developing as individuals, and moving one step closer to the final release. Throughout winter, we do not release any of our patients, just because survival rate is a lot higher in summer. Conditions are a lot more favorable and comfortable on them, so we're waiting until the worst part of winter has passed. All of our animals in the pre-release camp only have a couple of months left in rehab. As soon as spring starts, we will start with the releasing program of majority of those animals. That includes our giraffe named Gilbert, Petunia and all of our other buffalo friends, our 2 sables and the warthogs. As for Stella and Amara, our 2 fat elephant children, they still have a couple of years left in rehab. They are doing really well, very independent and as naughty as ever. They are still physically too small to release out onto the reserve, so we will keep them in the pre-release camp, keep them happy until it is eventually time to release them out onto the reserve, where they will join up with the other herds on Shamwari and then have a life of freedom. As for our meerkats, it is going very well with them. We have noticed that the social structure and the bond within the group, it's growing, it's developing, so we are as happy as can be. We are still waiting for more meerkats so that we can move on with a soft release to eventually release all of our meerkats onto the reserve. As for our hippos, it's going great with them. The 3 of them are still very happy in their enclosures. Henry is still on milk, yes, believe it or not. He is now 1 year and 4 months old, which means that he still has a couple of months left of his milk life. Technically, Moses and his girlfriend is ready for release, but we've now extended their rehab program to accommodate Henry, as Henry is still too small to be put out onto the reserve, and it will just boost his chances of survival when he has his 2 friends to accompany him. It will also cause the least amount of stress if we keep all 3 of them together. So if all goes according to plan, hopefully this time next year, all 3 of our hippos will be wild ones out on the reserve and we can close off their rehab journey. Over the last couple of weeks, we received some very interesting patients in rehab in our Wildlife Rehab Center. So we received 2 very cute, cuddly little goats. It is definitely one of the first to have in our rehab center. Quite a unique story, and it's not a typical patient that you will find in rehab. But yes, both of them are on their own rehab program. Being domestic farm animals, it is a rare find to see them in a wildlife rehab center. So we decided to keep them for future companion animals. Now, often in a rehab center, we pair wild patients with companions in rehab. Now, often we are not lucky enough to have another wild animal in rehab that will be a suitable match. So we reach out to our farm animals, sheep, goats, donkeys, you name it, whichever animal that would suit that patient best. And at this stage, our 2 lovely goats, being farm animals, we obviously can't release them out into the wild. So we are keeping them, raising them as companion animals for future patients who might need a friend along the way. So we have a brother and a sister. We do not have names yet, so if any of you have any ideas of names that you think will suit our 2 lovely goats, you are more than welcome to comment down below.